Hi friends, my name is Riley Schroeder. Welcome to my channel about all things living in Houston. I'm a local Houston real estate agent. I was also born and raised in the area, so it's safe to say I know Houston like the back of my hand. So whether you're in the beginning process considering a move to Houston, your job's relocating you to Houston, or you already live here and you're just trying to find the area that best fits your lifestyle, be sure to hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you can see my videos. I do drop them weekly, and do me one more favor, hit the like button. This helps that anyone like you considering a move to Houston, wondering what it's like to live in Houston, find my videos as well. Guys, I've helped over 100 people move into Houston from out of state since 2019, and I love doing it. Only way I can help you is if you reach out. So this number connects you directly to me. Give me a call, shoot me a text or an email, whatever you're most comfortable, whenever is easiest, day, night, weekend. I'm always here and I have your back when moving to Houston, Texas. Today's video is about all the new homes for sale in Houston, Texas. And here's the thing, you can find so many new construction options all over Houston. Depending on your budget, where you work, your lifestyle preference, and the builder you prefer, there's a ton of options. So let's name a few. Bridgeland and Town Lake is a very popular one in the Cypress area. So this is just up 290, a little northwest of Houston. Bridgeland and Town Lake are a thriving new construction community. The average home price is a little bit higher, $760,000. So you're going to be spending a little bit more to get access to this community. Their HOA is a little bit higher as well, but they've got some awesome new construction options. If you're just looking for a smaller house, a little bit smaller budget, maybe around $400,000, but you want everything that a new construction community has to offer with lots of activities, then Bridgeland and Town Lake is definitely something for you to consider. Bridgeland is over 3,000 acres of parks and green space. They have 60 miles of trails, a 900-acre lake that centers the community around. So beautiful community if you like doing outdoor activities with the kids. Town Lake actually has a lazy river in their water park. They have a full-time lifestyle director. This is someone who is employed full-time to just create activities and festivals and events for communities, for residents of Town Lake to attend. Town Lake is a really cool spot too, because if you have the budget, you can get a boat ramp, and they have a lot of boating activities. So if you like things like that, Town Lake and Bridgeland is a great spot to look for new construction homes. A little more north in Montgomery County, kind of towards the Woodlands, is a master planned new construction community called Wood Forest. I have a ton of clients out here. This is a huge community with a lot of different builders. We have a ton of amenities, golf courses, hiking and biking trails, and a lot to do for kids. So if you need to be a little bit more north, close to the Woodlands, Wood Forest is a great spot to check out for new construction. Going more southwest Houston is a master planned community called Sienna. The average home price in Sienna is $540,000. There is everything from townhome style new construction, new builds, to custom built homes. So they've got a huge golf course, lots of activities, but Sienna has a lot of lakes and trails and is super family friendly. So a good spot to consider if you're looking for somewhere southwest of Houston. Going west of Houston, just a little past Katy, is a really growing city called Fulshire. I think Katy just couldn't grow anymore, and so Fulshire's starting to grow too. There's a community, a new construction community called Cross Creek Ranch. This is where my aunt lives with 2 young children. She absolutely loves it. There's a lot of people who have been in this community for a couple years now, and they are still building. They have some of the best builders, in my opinion, out in Cross Creek Ranch. So if you're looking to be close to Katy, off of 10, for a really easy commute, straight commute into downtown or the energy corridor, Cross Creek Ranch is a good place for you to consider for new construction. Katy itself is home to a ton of new construction communities. So if you want to be in Katy, you're in luck with new construction. It's really about narrowing down budget. The part of Katy, you can be north, you can be more south towards Cinco Ranch, and the builder you're most interested in to identify which part of Katy in new construction works for you. Going back south, right down 288, right south of downtown, is a community called Meridiana. So Meridiana is blowing up. They've been building here in Meridiana for 5+ years now, and there are still new homes being built. This is a huge community. There's a cafe and a park and a lot of activities and events to do for residents only in Meridiana, and it's more south. So if you're looking to be closer to the coast, if you like going to the beach or you work maybe in some of the plants closer to the coast, this is a great spot for you to consider for new construction. Another community to mention with fantastic builders is Harvest Green. Harvest Green is located in Richmond, and it's in really close proximity to freeways to feed you into downtown or Greenway Plaza or the energy corridor if that's where you work. And Harvest Green is dubbing itself an agri-hood. It's centered around agriculture. It has a farm, a very sustainable way of life is what they're geared towards. So if that interests you, if you're looking to live a very green lifestyle, Harvest Green has some great new construction options for you and your family. Let's talk about when you should choose new construction over resale. There are pros and cons to both, but sometimes gearing your home search towards new construction makes more sense depending on a couple of things. If you're a first-time home buyer, it's a really good idea to set your sights on a new construction home. A lot of times for first-time home buyers, inspection reports of resale homes are freaky. They're 30, 40, 50 pages long, and it can be really concerning when an inspector's going in and pointing out all of these things that are wrong with this home. Even though oftentimes they're not necessarily wrong, A, it's an inspector's job to point out all of these things, and B, homes age just like people. It's very normal for certain things to happen and things to fall out of code. Code changes every month, every 6 months. But when you're seeing these inspection reports that look like there's a lot of things wrong, I've had a lot of buyers freak out over this. So if you're a first-time home buyer, it would be a good idea to look into new construction first. You're getting a home that is literally ready to go and 100% warranted. It should have no issues, and if it does, a lot of them are covered under the builder's warranty. Another time you should gear your home search towards new construction is whenever you're a little low on funds. Say you have the down payment, but you don't have closing costs in your bank account. A lot of these new construction communities, the builders offer incentives for you to purchase with their preferred lender. So it is tied with their lender, but if you use their lender, they're going to essentially credit you X amount towards your closing cost. So this is an opportunity to save a lot of money if you don't have a lot of cash on hand to purchase a house, but you do want to purchase, you're tired of renting. Going towards new construction can help alleviate a lot of that by going with their preferred lender and getting a lot of those incentives that are tied with it. Another instance when new construction is a great option for you is if you're picky. And you got to be honest with yourself on this one. A lot of times people know, hey, look, I only want this color countertops, this kind of flooring, X, Y, and Z. Great time to go with new construction. You can choose your own lot, choose your own selections with a lot of these builders. Sometimes you don't know you're picky. You're going to start your home search. You're going to look at a lot of homes, and there is just so many things you can find wrong with it, and you don't want to fix it. You don't want to update it. Cabinets aren't your preferred color. You get a little burnt out when you look at a lot of homes and none of them are matching what you're looking for. In that situation, consider new construction. The timeline is obviously longer, but if you're willing to build from the ground up, you can make all of those selections. So a good option if you consider yourself on the pickier side of home buyers. Let's talk about the pros and cons of new construction versus resale. And yes, there are cons to new construction. depending on what you're looking for. A big one that I always like pointing out, whenever you're one of the first in the community or on that road, whenever you close on your home, you're going to be dealing with construction around you. I've lived in a community like this, and I've had a popped tire because I drove over a nail. That's not their fault. That was on me, and I had to replace my tires. So it's something to note that you will be dealing with construction in that community and all the hazards and noises and frustrations that come along with that. So that's definitely a con of a new construction community and a new built house. Now, this next one will only be a con to some people, but over the years, talking to buyers, a lot of times I hear the words, I don't want a cookie cutter house. I don't want a cookie cutter community. That's when you go with resale. These homes have generally more character, don't look like your neighbors. That's a really good time to go with resale in a more established neighborhood where the houses look a lot different. In the new construction communities, there's one of 5 elevations, which is what the front of the house look like, that you can choose from. And then there's only certain brick colors you can choose from. And there's only certain floor plans you can choose from. So that's where it starts getting that cookie cutter feel to a lot of people. Some people really like that. And obviously there's a lot. If that's not your style, you should be looking at the older, more established communities with older homes. A pro of new construction is going to be that a lot of these communities are putting a lot of their money into creating activities for families and gearing towards being family friendly. A lot of them have community pools, parks, hiking trails down in Lago Mar. In Texas City, there is one of the biggest lagoons in all of the US. They have live music, festivals. It is beautiful. Bridgeland and Town Lake and Cypress, as I've mentioned, are very popular for family-friendly amenities. Town Lake, as I mentioned, has the boat ramps where you can boat within that community. So that's a pro. The con part of that is you're paying for those amenities. So your HOA is generally going to be a lot higher in those communities, which leads me to another con. Normally, your property taxes are going to be higher in new construction communities. So Texas does have a property tax, no income tax, but it does have a property tax. And the property tax, a huge part of that, aside from the school districts, is the mud. The mud is the pipes underground that feed the water and the sewer into your house. That's established before a new community breaks ground and starts all of that. So whenever the mud is brand new, the property taxes are a lot higher to pay off that mud. A lot of times the mud taxes start falling off after the community's been around for around 20 years. So naturally, in a new construction community, your tax rate is going to be a little bit higher. Another pro of going new construction, and I touched on this at the beginning of the video, is that new construction homes come with builder warranties. So it's no secret that Houston has flood zones. The city itself is below sea level. We're very close to the coast of Galveston, and we've got 10 bayous running through Houston itself. So the closer you are to these waterways is dependent on what flood zone you're in. Builders are required to build an elevation out of flood zones, meaning if you are in a 100-year flood zone, which requires flood insurance, they have to build to an elevation that puts you out of the flood zone. So you're no longer required to have insurance. So in terms of peace of mind from flooding, this can be a great option for you. The new construction process is very different from buying a resale home. In Texas, when you're buying a resale home, you have to give earnest money and option fee. You get a couple days to conduct an inspection, negotiate repairs, or back out of the contract and get your earnest money back. You're very protected in that sense. And from the day that you execute a contract on a resale home to the day you close is generally 30 days. That's very different from new construction. Obviously, with new construction, you're buying directly from a builder. So can you do an inspection? Absolutely. Are you going to find the bunch of scary things that you would in a resale? No. Are you going to have an option period to back out of that contract? No, not at all. Not with new construction. You do have to put down earnest money, and this varies by community and by builder, but you really don't have protections for that earnest money. Once you sign and deliver that earnest money, you're locked in, and if you back out of that contract, that's on you. You lose the earnest money. When you're buying a resale home, there's regulated contracts through the Texas Real Estate Commission that we use. When you're buying a new construction home through a builder, we use the builder's contract. And The builder writes this to protect themselves. It's just a fact. So it's very rare that you get your money back if you do decide to back out of the contract in that situation. With resale, your lender will do an appraisal. This happens with new construction as well. Anytime you're getting a loan, they're going to want to do an appraisal. The difference with new construction is if it comes in low, the builder's going to expect you to make that up. And if you back out, you don't get your money back. With resale, if the appraisal comes in low, we can negotiate that with the seller, or you can back out and get your money back if we write the contract that way. So again, you're protected in a lot of the ways with resale where you may not be with new construction. However, do you need all the protections with new construction? Not necessarily, because you're getting a brand new home that doesn't have issues. Something to note is whenever you do decide to do an inspection on a new construction home, we literally just send the inspection over to the builder and they correct everything, or most of everything. There are some reasons why code is the way it is that they don't correct, but for the most part, if the inspector says there needs to be more insulation in an attic, the builder will go and add that, no problem. Another thing with the timeline for new construction, if you're buying an inventory home that construction hasn't completed on yet, you're obviously waiting until construction is complete to close on that. So it could be ready in 30 days, it could be ready in 90 days. So it just depends. If you're not buying an inventory home and you're building from the ground up, you're choosing a lot and a floor plan and all of your selections, the timeline varies depending on the builder. Often it's from anywhere from 6 to 12 plus months. So if you have that kind of timeline, that's awesome. When you're building from the ground up that way, you do put down earnest money, like an initial deposit. And then whenever you're choosing your selections, you're choosing your flooring, your countertops, your paint, all the fun stuff, if you add extras at that point, they normally require a 50% deposit on that. So keep that one in mind too. As I mentioned, these new construction contracts are the builder's contracts, and they're meant to protect the builder. At the end of the day, this is a business. So what I want to touch on now is why you should always have a realtor during the new construction process. It can be really easy to feel like you don't need one. However, it's important to know that sales counselor, whenever you visit that new construction community, the person working there, they're doing just that. They're working there. Their loyalty and who pays them is the builder, not you. Okay, so keep that in mind. When you employ a realtor, even though you're not the one paying them, their fiduciary is to you and you only. They are required to look out for your best interest where the builder is not. While we can't change these contracts at all, a realtor can talk you through and at least prepare you for the ways that you are not protected so that there is no blindsiding at the end of it. Another thing a realtor can do is they're going to tell you about multiple communities and multiple builders. While the sales counselor is going to be vital to the process when you choose a builder, they're going to be pitching you their builder because that's how they make their paycheck. A realtor is going to talk to you about multiple of them. They're also going to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. There are definitely builders you should stay away from if you can. They've got a lot of lawsuits, and those sales counselors aren't going to openly tell you, yes, we have a lawsuit going on right now because the brick over the top of the home fell and hit someone's head. They're not going to tell you that, but a realtor who is specialized in new construction, who has done this before, knows the good, bad, and the ugly, and they're going to share that with you. Me personally, I don't want to sell a home to anyone who I'm not going to feel comfortable following up with and being like, how much do you love your home? It is something that consciously eats away at me. I want to sell you a home that you're going to love and I think you're going to be comfortable and safe in. So that is really, really important. A lot of times visiting these new construction communities, you can be forced or feel pressured to exclude a realtor. They'll say things like, without your realtor, I can save you X amount, blah, blah, blah. What is important here is to ask yourself, why don't they want me to have a realtor so bad? Probably because they're going to tell you the good, bad, and the ugly. They're going to walk you through the parts of the contract that really just don't look good for you. Reasons to make you doubt going under contract with that person or with that builder. Again, this doesn't mean not to buy new construction. It just means you need someone who's advocating for you and educating you every step of the way. At the end of the day, you don't do this every day. I do, realtors do, and we're here to protect you in those instances. So be sure you contact a realtor who is familiar with new construction if that's the route you decide to go. Fortunately for you, I've sold a ton of new construction homes. I know the best of the best builders in the Houston area. I know the ones you should probably stay away from. I can help guide you in terms of what you're looking for in a builder and a community, but you gotta reach out. I can't do it unless you give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email so that we can connect and talk through what's important to you and what you're looking for. So I really look forward to hearing from you. Until my next video, I'll see you later, guys.